of the panelists who said, I think the Aam Aadmi Party would be in single digits. I don't think they will get to double digits in Gujarat. And if they are in single digits, then the Congress would be in the 30 to 40 range. And even at that 30 to 40, I mean, you need to ask yourself, why is it that a party which has been out of power for the last 25 years, at its worst, was still getting 38% vote share and still getting a minimum of 40 seats? This time, they would have breached that floor. That floor of 40 seats, they would have gone below that. And I think that question definitely needs to be asked to the Congress party.
Shri Rashid Kidwai, please tell me, 77 से 92 का रास्ता easy है या 99 से 140 का?
I think it's a very commendable part on the on BJP's part to increasing its tally if it happens on 8th of December. The Congress story is a one of very kind of utter failure as far as Gujarat is concerned. Forget about the national leadership, even the state leadership has not been able to retain its hold, because even after defections and all, as Zaka was saying, they had 60 MLAs, and if there is anti incumbency for spread over 27 years, the Congress was expected to do better. At least 50 was, even in the Congress circle there was a benchmark of 50 seats or more. Now, if they fall below, then I think it's going to expose the entire leadership. As I said, central leadership, Gandhi's, Kharge, and of course the Gujarat Congress unit.
Right. If they can't retain Himachal, or I beg your pardon, if they can't win Himachal, and if they cannot improve upon their performance from the last time around and be significant, turn out a significant performance in Gujarat, clearly then you have a serious problem. And if the axis position holds in Gujarat, that BJP crosses 150 and the AAP gets into double digit, then it's serious embarrassment for the Congress party. Nirva Mehta is with us. Nirva.
Absolutely. Anand, and it's going to be a very poor reflection on Bharat Jodo Yatra. I mean, Rahul Gandhi is talking about all of these things, but after all, he is part of, if not ahead of a political party whose job is to win elections. And if they're not winning elections, then what is the point of having this Bharat Jodo Yatra?
No, the other aspect is many, if they are turning around and saying, you stay away, we'll win it, then it's a serious problem then. The other thing is, if he stays away and they lose it, then again you have a serious problem. So it's like Chitmay Jeeta Pat Tumhare kind of a scenario as far as the Congress party is concerned. Nirva Mehta is with us, Shazia Almi is with us. Nirva Mehta, let's call it. How much of the BJP's performance in Gujarat is PM Modi, and how much of it is the BJP and its organizational machinery? If you were to take PM Modi out of the equation, will the BJP be even able to retain 99? Will they be able to even breach 92?
Yes, BJP would still win Gujarat even with PM Modi out of the picture. But you cannot deny the Modi factor in the voting pattern. People still are voting for Modi. वो कहते हैं ना कि मोदी जी के नाम पे ही वोट गिरते हैं, तो वो they really by next elections they really need to pull up their socks and have a second layer of very strong leadership to make sure that whether Modi or not, if they want to retain Gujarat, because see, right in front of them they have the example of Congress, which has been disseminated to nothingness. It has been reduced to such irrelevance in the state, which is unfortunate, because democracy needs a strong opposition. Without having the opposition to keep the ruling party accountable, it also defeats the purpose, right? So for Congress also needs to be very strong here. Having said that, if BJP learns its lessons from the loss of Congress in Gujarat, they will make sure that their second rung of leadership will be very strong in the coming years.
Well, Shazia Almi, how would you want to respond to this? How long will Prime Minister Narendra Modi spearhead the BJP's efforts? And even the cabinet reshuffle was spearheaded from the PMO. So how much of an influence is PM Modi, and how much of it is the BJP's organizational machinery and their local candidates?
I will never like to repeat the words of Mr. Barwa, who said India is Indra and Indra is India. But to disassociate a Prime Minister's name, Pradhan Sevak as he calls himself, with BJP itself, and make it, I think it's not the wisest thing to do, or doesn't make sense in any way, because it is his vision and his policies that are implemented in every state. And after all, this is the blueprint that he stands for. There is something that Prime Minister Modi represents. And it's exactly that vision that is implemented in the actual implementation of all the schemes, at the from the center to the state at various levels. And we keep forgetting, while we talk about BJP and Prime Minister and other leaders, we forget a very big word, and that word is Labharti, the beneficiary. We're not talking about the number of colleges increasing from 21 to 103. We're not even, let's start talking about it. Let's dissect it further. Let's go into North Gujarat, Kutch and other parts and see what does Har Ghar Jal means to them and what has happened. So I think a lot has to be done with what people actually are getting and the actual delivery of all that is promised.
No, but is that delivery translating into votes, or is the BJP machinery having to make calls, thousands of calls, to ensure that the voter comes out to vote? So that's where I'm asking you the question. The other thing is, yes, there is delivery which has happened, but can this delivery sustain without Prime Minister Narendra Modi's efforts, the kind of effort that he's put in? 25 days, so many road shows, hours and hours of camping in Gujarat. That's where I'm asking you this question. As a Sangathan, where is the Sangathan Shakti here, and where is the performance of the local leaders? A lot of anti-incumbency has been overridden because of the Modi factor. If these numbers were to hold, and I'm sure we can be candid, I'm just being very forthright that you cannot rely only on one man. The captain is only as good as the team. The captain can carry the team only to a certain extent.
Yes, but if the lotus is blooming, and there is a reason for that, right? And if you look at the Prime Minister's presence there, it is backed by a committed leadership. It is committed to a larger blueprint. It is committed to a huge vision that BJP stands for, and Prime Minister proposes and ensures that it gets executed. So it's a you can't take out one factor and say that this must be it. If you analyze it, we can just keep on analyzing it till the cows come home. But the fact of the matter is that it is, after all, the overall package and overall offering to the people of India that the brand Modi brings to the table. And that includes everything. That includes the beneficiaries, that includes the Yojanas, also a committed manifesto and a commitment. Now let's look at some other new players. They seem to be taking the place and cocking a snook at the whole idea of index of opposition unity. But more on that later. You just see whether it's all the policies and what has BJP stood for and what does Prime Minister represent. I don't think there's any, you can divorce any factor at all from, so it's not really mutually exclusive of each other.
No,
I think it works
it's
together
not mutually
in tandem.
exclusive, but
And
one is
the
becoming, the simple question is, on ground, if there are candidates who are being sent back by voters saying that PM aane do, Modi aayenge, tab hum dekhenge, tum jao, then you have a problem. If there are candidates who cannot win a constituency by their own, but they need support from star campaigners or from people who have got their own aura, then we have a problem. And this is something which the Sangathan has to take serious cognizance of. What was the reason why you had to change the entire cabinet 18 months into before the polls? These are all questions, these are issues which are real and which are there on ground, notwithstanding the magic of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's quickly look at the numbers that have come through for Gujarat from the exit pollsters so far. Let's look at the first number is Jan Ki Baat. So Jan Ki Baat says 117 to 140. 99 was the score the last time around. The slide, the number to look for, along with, of course, the BJP's astounding performance, is the slide of the Congress party and the rise of the Aam Aadmi party in Gujarat. Too much to digest, too hard to believe, or perhaps one would wonder, what is this party doing? The principal opposition party in Gujarat for 2.5 decades, is it withering away? That's the big question. Let's look at the TV9 survey. TV9 survey says Congress still has a base which would give them at least 40 to 50 seats. Why aren't they consolidating on that is a question everybody's asking. But the BJP, look at that. The journey from less than 100, one short of 100, to 130. That's what they will traverse, is what the TV9 survey says. C Voter survey says not just 130, they can breach the 140 mark. They can get up to 140. Phenomenal performance if this were to happen. nearly 41 seats if they have to win. It's not an easy deal. They have done that. That's what Sea Voters says they will do it. Access My India says, beyond 150, this is a record. That's the higher number. The lower number is also a record for the BJP because it's their best ever. But look at where it shows the Congress will slip from 77 down to just 16 or maybe till 30. 47 seats down. Wow. That's a story in itself. P-Mark, 148 is the higher number for the BJP. The higher number for the Congress is 40. The AAP could get into double digits. A story within the story. Is there a voter there looking for a credible, strong opposition as an option? That's the big question. ETG survey says 131 for the BJP, 41 for the Congress party, 6 for the AAP, 4 for others. And look at the disparity. Look at the difference between 2017 and this time around. And thereafter, the News18 poll of polls. The News18 poll of polls says, as of now, based on the exit polls, the BJP is set to do its best ever performance with an average 134 seats out of 182. The Congress perhaps its lowest ever at 37, up getting onto the leaderboard. So this is the big question, this is the big setup right now, the story that comes. Let's look at the entire the table here on this big dome, the Alexa dome right here. Look at these numbers, how they stack up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pollsters say the lowest median or the median for the BJP will be around the 125 number. There are 4 pollsters, as Zaka mentioned, who are saying this could be the BJP's best ever performance individually as a political party. There is 1 pollster that says it will be the best ever performance by any political party. It's a case study. It will be a miracle if the BJP gets to 135 plus, ladies and gentlemen, with remaining 2.5 decades in power. That's a huge story to tell, and that's a huge narrative to build ahead of Lok Sabha 2024, where Zaka, they've actually set the goal of 333 seats. They did that a day after they won in 2019. So if this is how they're going to set the tone, then the issue is there is a voter there looking for a credible opposition and not finding it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is entire Congress party, particularly in a state like Gujarat, because they were the principal opposition party there. 77 seats last time. Yes, you can say a lot of it was because of the Patidar agitation. There was the farmers' unrest in the rural parts. All of that given, yes. But even at that, to come down from 77 to, the lower end, the lowest end is 16 and the highest end is 51. To come down 27 seats, that is not something that the Congress party will be proud of. But just a number on the BJP. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In fact, 4 surveys. That's PMark. You have ETG survey. You have Access My India and Sea Voter. 4 out of these 6 surveys who are saying even at the lower end, 128, 129, 128. Even at the lower end, the BJP will be breaching the 127 mark, which is what they got in 2002. And if you go back and look at what Home Minister Amit Shah has been saying, others have been saying, that they will break all the records of the BJP seen in previous elections. So 4 out of 6 surveys are saying that the BJP is well on course to do that even at the lower end. At the higher end, one survey saying 148, which would be just one shot of the best ever performance by any political party in the history of Gujarat. And at 151, which is the highest end of this range given by one pollster, Axis, that would be absolutely record-breaking as far as Gujarat is concerned. Because like we've been saying, 149 by Madhav Singh Solanki, the whole calm election, as it was called, Kshatriya, Harijan, Adivasi, Muslim, it created a whole vote bank for the Congress party. But the BJP would have breached that. They have created their own vote bank, their own system in Gujarat, their own voter in Gujarat. And I agree with you, Anand. If the AAP, and this is where I think pollsters are getting it wrong, particularly Access My India, if AAP gets double digits, anywhere between 10 to 21, then clearly there is a substantial voter in Gujarat, particularly those who voted for the Congress party in the previous election, who are saying, I'm not happy with your performance as the opposition. You're not holding the government to account. Therefore, I'm going to look for a new opposition party. I think that would be a story in itself. But like I said, my view conservatively is that the AAP will still be in single digits in Gujarat.
Now, in this case also, if you look at the overall medians of the Congress party, interesting, Nirva Mehta is also watching this, so is Shazia Ilmi and Rashid Kidwai. Is this overall scores of the Congress also perhaps their lowest ever?
Oh, absolutely.
Have they ever gone below 50?
They have not come down below 40 seats. And
40
I think
seats.
that is a big, big thing. If the BJP is breaching its ceiling, which is 127, and the Congress is breaching its floor, which is 40, then there is a problem.
Yeah.
There is a very, very serious problem. As people were saying, in the run-up to the poll, this is almost an identity fight for the Congress, an existential fight for the Congress party. And I'm sorry, but below 40 in an assembly of 180, you are as good as, not surviving.
State after state, it's been typed as existential fights, but then Chhattisgarh happens, Rajasthan happens, and then there is this entire semblance of belief that no, all is not lost. But in Gujarat, where you had a set base of at least 40 to 50 seats and a set base of 38 to 40% vote share, if you are going to see these numbers, we have a problem. Let's shift focus to Himachal. We have Pratibha Singh, Congress President, Himachal Pradesh, with us. Pratibha ji, namaste. Thank you very much for joining us. अभी तक जो pollsters कह रहे हैं प्रतिभा जी, जो exit pollsters, आपको क्या लगता है, आप उन नंबर से खुश हैं? We'll just try and connect with Pratibha Singh of the Congress party, Himachal Pradesh. She is the one challenging Veerbhadra Singh's wife, and she will be the one who actually, while speaking with News 18, had said that the Congress is firmly placed to win nearly 45 seats, so do very, very well, and it's the Congress party that's forming the government in Himachal Pradesh. Rashid Kidwai, if as two pollsters are predicting, if Congress forms the government in Himachal Pradesh, will then Gujarat become a blind spot for the Congress party? Will they then look away from what's happening in Gujarat and then just talk about and then focus only on their victory in Congress, in Himachal?
Anand, Congress tends to have this ostrich-like approach when they, if they're able to win Himachal, then they will consider it as a big victory, and whatever happens in Gujarat, they'll try to put it, bury it under the carpet. But in many states it happened when there is a kind of the decline of Congress and emergence of a third party, in this case Aam Aadmi Party, then the Congress tends to lose in the long run, whether it was Uttar Pradesh Samajwadi Party, Delhi Aam Aadmi Party, Bengal Trinamool Congress, Andhra Jagan Mohan Reddy's party, Telangana TRS, wherever there is the emergence of third party, it tends to be at the expense of the Congress. And perhaps if this kind of thing happens, if there is a really, AAP manages to get more than 10 assembly seats in Gujarat, this will become a trend in there also. So I think Congress needs to take a holistic view rather than just gloating over if at all they are able to win Himachal Pradesh.
Now, how do they fix this, Rashid Kidwai? Let's get into it a little. How do they fix this? Because a lot of them say, let's keep the top leaders away, national faces away, local leaders, local issues, we'll do it that way. That's not working. The moment the national leaders come in there, that is also not working.
So, Anand, I want to ask you, for instance, in Madhya Pradesh, you have, the Congress party has Kamal Nath, has Digvijay Singh. In Rajasthan, they have Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot and many other states. Can you tell me the 5 leaders or 3 leaders of consequences from Gujarat? So there was, as long as Mr. Ahmed Patel was there, the entire Congress politics revolved around him, and after that there is a huge blank. So there is a, Mr. Kharge is not effective, perhaps Rahul Gandhi is not effective, and there is no state
No, they tried various options. They tried Shakti Singh Goel. After that, then they tried Hardik Patel. Then they tried Alpesh Thakur. They tried a lot of people. They just did not get. So won't you want to fix your organization, get your organization right? Nirva Mehta, what is it that you heard about because there is a Congress voter base in Gujarat.
The Congress has a very strong voter base in Gujarat, very, very loyal voter base, which is why when I see the seats reduced to 35 to 50, under 50, under 40, it's very sad. But I very clearly remember, so I have lived all my life in Gujarat and Ahmedabad. I just moved to Delhi 5 years back. But in 2007, if I'm not wrong, after the elections, there were 4 Congress CM candidates, Siddharth Patel, Shakti Singh Gohil, Bharat Singh Solanki and Arjun Modvadia. These were the 4 possible names, if I'm not wrong. And very clearly, all 4 of them lost their seats. there was a very iconic picture in Gujarat Samachar at the back and the last page, where all four of them are sitting with their heads bowed down, and that all four had lost their seats. So when you're
Nirva, just give me a minute. We have Pratibha Singh, the Congress president of Himachal Pradesh. Pratibha जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. ये जो रुझान जो आए हैं एग्जिट पोलस्टर्स का, 6 में से 4 पोलस्टर्स ये कह रहे हैं कि बीजेपी वापस आएगी और 2 पोलस्टर्स ऐसे हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि हिमाचल प्रदेश में कांग्रेस की आने की संभावना है. आपकी पहली प्रतिक्रिया मैं चाहूंगा.
देखिए, मैं एग्जिट पोल क्या बोल रहा है उस पर ज़्यादा विश्वास नहीं कर रही. हम लोग धरातल से जुड़े हैं, हमें ज़मीनी स्तर पे पता है कि लोगों का रुझान क्या है, लोग क्या चाहते हैं और लोगों ने किसको वोट किया है और लोगों की उम्मीदें क्या हैं. उसके ऊपर मैं आपको कह सकती हूँ कि ये सारी परिस्थिति को देखते हुए मैं आपको आश्वस्त होकर कहना चाहती हूँ कि कांग्रेस अवश्य जीत कर आएगी और भारी बहुमत से जीत कर आएगी. हम सरकार बनाने जा रहे हैं.
ये आप किस बेसिस पर आप ये कह रहे हैं? क्योंकि जैसे मैंने बोला कि 4 पोलस्टर्स कह रहे हैं कि बीजेपी की सरकार वापस आने की संभावना है. सिर्फ एक पोलस्टर ने बोला है कि कांग्रेस आ सकती है और वो भी ऐसा नहीं है कि भारी बहुमत से आपको जिताया है. तो किस चीज की वजह से आप इतने कॉन्फिडेंट हैं?
मैंने आपको कहा ना, अभी मैंने आपको कहा कि I was the party president and I toured each and every nook and corner of हिमाचल प्रदेश. I know कि लोगों के दिल में क्या गुस्सा बीजेपी के प्रति था और लोग ये चाहते थे कि इस बार परिवर्तन होना अवश्य है और उन्होंने कांग्रेस के पक्ष में वोट दिया है. और जो भाजपा से उनकी नाराजगी थी, एक तो उन्होंने कीमतों को देखकर जो दिन प्रतिदिन बढ़ती जा रही है उसके प्रति लोगों का रोष था, जो युवाओं को आपने रोजगार नहीं दिया उसके प्रति रोष था, और बहुत सी वादाएं प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री बनने से पहले जब वो हिमाचल प्रदेश का दौरा कर रहे थे तो उन्होंने कहा था कि 450 रुपए का गैस का सिलेंडर आप मुझे मौका दें, मैं इसको कम करके आपको आपकी आशाओं के मुताबिक चलूंगा. तो इस बार जब वो हिमाचल प्रदेश का दौरा कर रहे थे तो इन्होंने ना महंगाई पे बात की, ना बेरोजगारी पे बात की, ना यहाँ की समस्याओं पे बात की. तो लोगों को बहुत निराशा थी और लोगों ने कहा कि हम लोग ऐसा सोच नहीं सकते थे कि प्रधानमंत्री इतनी बार दौरा कर गए हिमाचल प्रदेश का. पर मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ पर कोई
प्रतिभा जी ये बताइए, लास्ट क्वेश्चन, ये उत्तराखंड में भी हमने देखा कि जो हर 5 साल सरकार बदलती है, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बदलती हैं, ऐसा एक रुझान आया था एग्जिट पोलस्टर्स का, लेकिन जब रिजल्ट आए थे तब उत्तराखंड में क्लियर मेजॉरिटी मिल गया था बीजेपी को. क्या ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो सकता आपके प्रदेश में भी?
नहीं, देखिए उत्तराखंड में क्या हुआ क्या नहीं उसका मुझे ज़्यादा ज्ञान नहीं है, पर जहाँ तक हिमाचल प्रदेश की बात है वो बार बार बीजेपी की सरकार ये कह रही है कि हमारी डबल इंजन की सरकार है और हम इसको रिवाज को बदलेंगे और इस बार दोबारा से रिपीट करेंगे. पर मेरा ये मानना है कि इस बार कांग्रेस को अवश्य लोग सत्ता में लाएगी और अवश्य हम सरकार बनाएंगे. मैं दावे के साथ इस बात को कह सकती हूँ.
प्रतिभा जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. 8 तारीख को दोबारा आपके साथ मुलाकात होगी और बातचीत होगी. थैंक यू वेरी मच. All right, that was Pratibha Singh. Now I believe we have a very special sort of segment. We're bringing back the quadcopter. Let's roll it in.
Absolutely, yes. We got to call that in. So the dome opens. There you go, and slowly the quadcopter sets in. It's that descent, you know. It just feels like you're going down a roller coaster. Your heart just bumps for a bit, and then it just hovers there, and then it settles you down slowly. Bhai sahab, aaram se. Haan. Okay, there you go. See that hover? That's where it settles, and then it rests down slowly. Smooth. That's how. There you go. So let me just get into it now. I did not bang my head. I'm sitting here. Got the controls and there. Up, and away. Let's go. All right, Zaka, this time around, we're not going to go to Gujarat. We're going to go to another location. I'm going to show you something special. Himachal in the night.
All right, as we await Anand to give us a nice skyline, a bird's eye view of one of the other iconic cities, let me get a quick word in from both Rashid and Nirva. The story, like I said, is not just about how the Congress squandered Gujarat. They had an opportunity. There were issues. It was not like there were no issues in Gujarat. But Rashid, accountability needs to be fixed. A basic question needs to be asked. Rahul Gandhi is in Bharat Jodo. He says disassociate that from vote bank politics or electoral politics. But he just went to Gujarat one day. Compare this to just 2017. He was there throughout the campaign. He started, I think, a Jan Sampark Yatra 3 months before Gujarat went to polls. And we saw, I mean, yes, they lost, but it was the best performance of the Congress in 25 years of the BJP. They got to 77.
Yes, Zaka, I think the Congress story is very complex. The Gandhis, particularly Rahul Gandhi, is trying to disengage himself from electoral politics. I mean, the outcome of electoral politics, such as assembly elections, the 13 elections till 2024, and he thinks that, by not being very active participant, he will be able to save his skin. Now, this tells you what is happening inside the Congress, because here is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who's Congress president, but he's not a very effective campaigner outside Karnataka. And this is a real problem, and that is why people are getting very increasingly disillusioned. And I keep saying that I cannot rule out a split in the Congress before 2024.
Okay, we'll see. That's big. If that were to happen, that'll be huge. Let me also bring in senior academic Makran Parajpe, who's joining us. We also have Tushar Gupta from Swarajya Magazine joining us as we await. All right, let's go to Anand first. Anand is now ready to descend, not descend, but take us on that flight over one of India's most iconic cities. Anand.
Well, this is what happens when you combine real with the digital. Here, it's a phenomenal view of the of this iconic hotel in Himachal. That's where we've been able to try and zero in, because it's beautifully lit. And this is where what we will do is call up the numbers here with Alexa, which is how. Let's see how the poll of polls looks. What are the numbers? Who's in pole position to form the government here in Himachal Pradesh based on the mega poll of polls, the exit pollsters? The BJP has an average of 36 seats, so they're just two clear of the halfway mark. It's just 2 seats there that puts them with the full majority to form the government. Will they be comfortable with that, or would they want to pinch the 3 others? We'll have to wait and watch. The Congress is at 29. That's the overall poll of polls numbers. Out of a house of 68, the BJP should have 36, and they should be in a position to form the government in Himachal Pradesh. That's what it looks like, although the Congress party says, don't go by these numbers. We are the ones coming into power because the Rivaj will continue. Sarkar badlegi. The Aam Aadmi Party will not open an account here at all. So no account, they're not there on the leaderboard. It continues to remain a 2-party state, the state of Himachal Pradesh. It's a little chilly thanks to this heater inside the quadcopter. I'm all right, but it's a chilly night sky that we see here in Himachal. Back to you in the studio, Zaka. I'll be back there.
All right, as we await Anand to come back into the studio in his nice, fancy quadcopter, let me bring in our 2 new guests who are joining us at this hour, Makran Parajpe, and of course, we have Tushar Gupta as well. Let me start with you, Dr. Parajpe, because there's something fascinating. All right, we're waiting for the Chanakya numbers as well. You can see that on the screen. Again, Chanakya is also turning out to be an outlier here. BJP 150, Congress 19, Aam Aadmi Party 11, and others 2. I mean, the BJP's best performance in the last 27 years that it's been in power in Gujarat is 127 that it clocked in the 2002 election. Now, at least 2 pollsters are saying it will cross 150. Something's got to be right there in the state of Gujarat and for the BJP to be bettering its best ever performance.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think they're on a winning ticket in Gujarat. Both the Prime Minister and Home Minister are from Gujarat. And everybody in Gujarat is really proud of the performance of BJP, since 2014 and even earlier when Narendra Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. So there is a sense of Gujarati pride, but that's not enough to win elections. What really matters is delivering on development. And I think that anybody who goes to Gujarat has seen that, in a sense, BJP has completely transformed Gujarat. And then let's not forget that the Congress committed a kind of harakiri. They were, as you've been saying, throughout this evening, the principal opposition party, but they're in a complete disarray. And the fact that the Congress still matters is evident in Himachal Pradesh. So Congress is the only party which has on the ground, deep inroads into the political system. But given that, they don't have a vision, they don't have leadership, the leader is Jodoing Bharat, but it doesn't translate into votes, so it doesn't matter. And the new Congress president, Mallikarjun Kharge, is clueless. And I think, obviously, BJP will make hay when the sun shines.
All right,
Of
Dr.
course,
Paranjpe, give me 1 second, because my colleague Anand is now ready to come back from that beautiful skyline that he was showing. The nightscape of Shimla. Here we go, Anand.
Yes, I can hear you. I could hear Makaran Paranjpe and you introducing Tushar too, but it's quite chill, not just in Himachal, but also on the skies of Delhi. Happy to be back in the studios. एक सेकंड के लिए धड़कन रुक जाती है when the hour. आप आराम से सेट करो भाई नीचे मुझे. There you go. Thank you very much. अब मैं उतर रहा हूँ बाहर. Please let me get out. There you go. Oh. Next time I need to find a taller one, isn't it? Zaka, so it's interesting how Himachal is shaped up. It's also very, very interesting how Gujarat is shaping up. This number is phenomenal. भाई ये quadcopter को उठा देते हैं वापस. Then otherwise I can't see you, Zaka. Okay, thank you very much, Alexa, and this quadcopter, up you go. बस ठीक है. Thank you. Off it goes. So namaste Tushar ji, namaste Makaran ji. As Zaka was saying and as you were saying, there are a lot of people put a lot of effort for a lot of things, but they are not focusing on the one thing that's important, that is winning elections, because this is democracy. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done it, and he continues to understand the importance of going back to the voter and saying, I care, I remember, I delivered, but you remember? That's what he's doing, going back and telling them, Makaranji.
Absolutely. And as I said, Gujarat is a success story. And last time it was a kaante ki takkar. I still remember how Amit Shah had camped in Surat, in fact, swing the elections. It was a very close fight. But this time, as I said, the Congress was in a disarray, demoralized. They have a crisis of leadership. And, the formula that Sonia Gandhi had, where somehow she could appeal to the voters, win elections, and you had a clean enough prime minister in Manmohan Singh, that kind of separation of powers or separation of duties has fallen through in today's Congress. So it's a party which is not able to perform its role as the principal opposition party in India. And as I said, it's in a disarray. But Himachal is interesting because it shows that the Congress is still a force to be reckoned with, as I just said, because they have inroads, in every district in some of these states. And AAP coming up a cropper shows that...
Makaranji, they are such an old party that in every state, in every zilla, every taluka, every village, there is a Congressy. But what's the Congress party doing? Tushar, quickly, before we've just got this update, Chanakya has given BJP a whopping 150 seats. So before we go to Tushar Mehta, this is the election center breaking that's coming through. So there's yet another pollster who is given the BJP 150 ka number. So this time touching a record number of seats. Chanakya giving BJP a whopping 150. Both these pollsters have taken a few estimates, and the way they are looking at projecting the numbers, you partly tend to agree with the fact that if the BJP is crossing 135 largely, they should get closer to that 150 mark. But would you want to give those kind of numbers to the Aam Aadmi Party at the cost of the Congress? That's another question. So Chanakya giving BJP a whopping 150. Axis also giving BJP a whopping 150. This conversation continues here at CNN News 18, but we've got to take a very, very short break. Makaran Paranjpe, Nirva Mehta, thank you very much. Rashid Kidwai, Tushar Mehta, stay on with Tushar Gupta, stay on with us. You, the viewer, stay on with us. We'll get you the full breadth of the numbers of our pollsters. What's the News 18 poll of polls? Who's forming or in position as per the exit polls to form government in Gujarat and in Himachal? All of that and more here on your election news center, nerve center, CNN News 18. Stay with us.
say that after the IFI jury head, the international jury head Nadav Lapid had made those statements at the closing ceremony of IFI in Goa, is when these fresh threats have actually come about for the Kashmiri Pandits. Now remember, only yesterday a social media handle which claimed to be operated by Lashkar-e-Toiba had issued open threats to Kashmiri Pandits. Preliminary investigation has revealed that the handle is being operated from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and has released a hit list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit government employees that are on their radar. The terror group also added that those being provided safe houses by the government are on the target.
कल जब एक लिस्ट आई 57 की, उस 57 ने हमें दिलाया है, ये 57 ही नहीं है, इसमें मैं समझूं कल को हम पूरे इसमें हो सकते हैं। अभी उन्होंने 57 ही डाला, क्या पता कल उसमें मैं भी हूँगा जो लिस्ट में नहीं, कल को मार दिया। हम यहाँ बैठ के गवर्नमेंट से अपनी जान की भीख मांग रहे हैं। हम ये बोलते हैं हमें अटैच किया जाए, अटैच करके जब आपको हालात ठीक होंगे तो हम वापस चले जाएंगे। हम डर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे जान को खतरा है, तो हमारी जान को बख्शा जाए।
यही चीज समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं गवर्नमेंट को 208 दिन से कि यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा हम लोग थ्रेट में हैं, हमारा पल पल थ्रेट में गुजर रहा है, हम वहाँ पे नहीं जा सकते, नहीं अपनी सर्विस दे सकते। हाँ, आप लोग क्या चाहते हैं? अब क्या ऐसी चीज आ जाएगी? मैसेकर होने चाहिए क्या? तब आप लोग मानोगे कि वहाँ के हालात खराब है, कश्मीर के हालात खराब है।
बड़ा चिंताजनक है। पहले से ही सरकार की तरफ से प्रयास तो किए गए हैं, लेकिन जो टारगेट किलिंग पहले भी होती रही, अब उसको फिर से निशाना बनाने की कोशिश की जा रही है और खास करके लोगों के नाम देना ये अपने आप में बड़ा शर्मनाक है। तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत बड़ी कार्रवाई करने की जरूरत है ताकि एक डर का माहौल वहां पर पैदा ना हो। पहले भी कुछ कश्मीरी पंडित को लेकर के उनको टारगेट किलिंग्स की गई हैं, तो मुझे लगता है इन सभी विषयों पर चिंता करना स्वाभाविक बात है और चिंता सरकार द्वारा की जानी चाहिए, सुरक्षा बलों द्वारा कड़े एक्शन लिए जाने चाहिए।
Let's break down the story for our viewers. Now, Lashkar-e-Toiba has released a list of 56 Kashmiri Pandits who are government employees, saying that they are on their possible target. This list, obviously for the Union Territory government, has been put out. This was put out by a social media handle being operated out of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. That released that hit list of 56 Kashmiri Pandits. This is the very, very worrying statistics that we are talking about. Taking this across to my colleague Tejinder, who's now joining us on the broadcast. Tejinder, ever since this list has been put out by the social media handle, what really is being done on the ground so that the lives of these Pandits who are in constant threat, so to speak, can be dealt with and something can be done so that their fear can be assuaged?
See, the government has taken this list very seriously. They are trying to find out the people who actually released this official document to the terror outfit. This Kashmir Fight blog is being run by TRS, the Resistance Front, which is a frontal of the terror outfit Lashkar-e-Toiba. And if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, a similar threat was issued to journalists working in Kashmir. After that, the Srinagar police registered an FIR and raids were conducted at several locations across Kashmir Valley. So the government here is taking this threat very seriously. Right now, as we speak, the Kashmiri Pandits, they are holding a protest in Jammu, though the protest is going on for the past more than 200 days. These are the Kashmiri Pandits who have been working under the Prime Minister's rehabilitation package in Kashmir Valley, and they have been protesting in Jammu for past more than 200 days, ever since the Kashmiri Pandit Rahul Bhatt was gunned down by terrorists inside his Chadura office in Badgam district. So Kashmiri Pandits have been demanding that they should be relocated to safer places. But after this list has been released by the Kashmir Fights, the Kashmiri Pandits now say that it would be really difficult for them to return to Kashmir Valley and work there when they have to work under constant threat of being killed, because the Kashmir Fight blog has in its post has said that these 56 Kashmiri Pandits are on their target, and more such lists would be released in the coming days.
Mr. Sumit Peer, who's a political analyst, is joining us. Mr. Peer, that actually brings us to this next question. Is all of this that's being done in the name of providing securities to the pundits, is it enough in the valley, considering these threats continue to rear their ugly head every now and then?
Haji, thank you very much for having me on your show. In fact, ma'am, the quantum of threat has increased. Because look, the new Pakistani army chief is ex-ISI and ex-military intelligence. It's a very unique combo. He, along with Nadeem Anjum, the existing ISI chief, remember when Nadeem Anjum came to his job, few Kashmiri Pandits were killed, he ordered targeted killings. I was predicting that the LOC will heat up and the Kashmir Valley will heat up. That is exactly what is the job of this man. Now this Twitter handle, which talks about that originates from POK, the origin of the Twitter handle is from POK, that brings to the conclusion that Pakistan is trying to wage a different quantum of war. Low cost, high targeted killings is what is on their issue, on their radar. And the biggest threat, or the biggest person who carries the highest marks on his back, is a Kashmiri Pandit. With this change scenario, the security of the Kashmiri Pandits in the valley will be very, very tough and challenging. It's better they will be moved to Jammu, to a safer place, because you cannot have 5 or 10 PSOs going around with 5,000 people.
Yes.
Well, that is not practically going to help. And this threat is real this time because there's a new man on the job. And he knows what exactly he is doing. You see, yesterday he chose to visit the Kashmir side of the border, not to the Afghanistan of the border, where a lot of trouble is brewing. And he was talking about Ghazi, Ghazwa-i-Hind, and he's some alim of Quran and some literate of Islamic scholars. And he says he believes he's from a clan which is a direct descendant from Prophet Muhammad. With all these things summing up, and we can see the impact of the new chief on the ground. The situation is not good. I think this threat is real. And if they've come up with the names, even if they are able to strike 1 or 2, that will be not a welcome step at all, and we have to prevent it in any way whatsoever.
Mr. Pandit, do you agree with Mr. Peer, considering we have a new army chief in Pakistan, and that's why this threat, an increased amount, and also the the intensity of the threat has increased? Pretty much what happened in the 1990 is what Mr. Peer is talking about. Do you agree?
The threat has always been there, and it is up to them when to open the tap more and when not to. So there may have been different reasons at different times, but we are losing people. We are losing people there because there's a policy paralysis in Delhi. There's a policy paralysis in Kashmir. We have somehow decided to just wait out things and lose the initiative, and always hand over the initiative to the adversary. They decide when to step up the killings and when to hold back. That has been the cat and mouse game played so far, and we are just happy losing lives and do nothing about it. Just as more than 200 days have passed, the PM package employees have been agitating in Jammu. We have pushed them into a death zone, into a killer zone, from where they barely escaped 30 years ago. So a genocide.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and thank you for staying with us here at CNN News 18. If it's elections, it is CNN News 18. Ladies and gentlemen, Himachal had voted, Gujarat has voted, the exit pollsters had collated the numbers, and if these numbers were to stay, then on the 8th of December, the dance of democracy will be in the BJP headquarters, because the BJP looks all set to retain Himachal and also Gujarat with the perhaps best ever performance of the party. I'm Anand Narasimhan, and with me is Zaka Jacob in the election studio. And Zaka, as usual, with the magic wall, trying to figure out कहाँ से जीती होगी इस बार सीटें और कहाँ से हार गया है Congress. We'll talk about all of that, but we've just got some of the numbers coming through. Let's have a quick look So the latest coming in is the Matrice survey numbers, which is giving the BJP a comfortable majority, much better than the 99 they did in 2017. It's giving the BJP 112 to 121 seats. Congress 51 to 61, so clearly a slide from their 77 the last time around. AAP breaks into the leaderboard with 4 to 7 seats, 1 to 3 to the others. So these are the projections compared to the 2017 results. Let's quickly go through what some of the other pollsters are also saying. So this is Jan Ki Baat, 117 to 140, Congress 34 to 51, AAP 6 to 13, others 1 to 2. These are the numbers now. So look at the lowest number is 112 now. Jan Ki Baat had said 117, Matrice says 112. But then the other pollsters start pushing the numbers up for the BJP. TVS survey, TV9 survey clearly says 125 to 130 seats, Congress 40 to 50, AAP 3 to 5, again in single digits. Compare that with the 2017 results. So once again, BJP getting bumped up slowly from that 112 to 117. Now the lower median is 125. Let's look at PMark. And at PMark, the numbers very clearly say that it's again, see the lower number median is getting bumped up, 128 to 148, 30 to 42, so the AAP slipping down further, beg your pardon, Congress slipping down further, AAP rising, slowly breaching into double digits. Now, let's look at the ETG numbers. What does the ETG say? The pollster, their survey says it gives a fixed number, BJP breaching the 130 mark. This will be their best ever. Highest ever is 127 for them. Congress 41, AAP 6, others 4. So again, Congress struggling to get and stay in the 40s as far as ETG is concerned. Let's look at C-Voter. C-Voter is also bumping the BJP up. Minimum number is 128, their best ever again. AAP again 3, Congress 31, and others 2 to 6. So that's where the C-Voter is pushing. But overall, if you were to look at it, the higher median for the BJP is breaching the 140s, edging towards the 150s. Let's look at what today's Chanakya did. Today's Chanakya took them beyond 151 at the higher end. 150 is the today's Chanakya number. 19 for the Congress, and the party that gains is the Aam Aadmi Party with 11, and of course others. If this happens, then does the AAP psychologically replace the Congress as the opposition in Gujarat, and how big a victory will that be, and how big a story will that be for the AAP? So let's look at the next of the pollsters. You have Access My India, which again takes the BJP past the 150 mark. This is the highest, the outlier in this case, with 151 at the higher median. It brings the Congress down to 16 at the lowest level, but gives the AAP a high of 21 seats. If that happens, ladies and gentlemen, then once again, two pollsters are indicating that AAP could then take the place of the principal opposition in Gujarat. Let's look at how it all stacks up on this beautiful Alexa dome. Let's call it up. Bottom to top, it's 150 at today's Chanakya. Then C-Voter at 140. I'm reading the higher numbers. Access My India 151 for the BJP, ETG 131, and there you go. You then look at some of the others who've been a little conservative with the BJP. Matrice 121. PMark then takes it closer to 150 at 148. Jan Ki Baat also puts the BJP at 140. The highest numbers for the AAP is 21. The lowest is 2. The Congress party, the highest number is 61, the lowest is 16. Such a big gap. Now, each of them reads the polls differently, their surveys and how they factor in. But overall, it just looks like BJP is coming back in Gujarat and in style. So the News18 poll of polls also puts the number for the BJP somewhere in the 130s, 136. So it's gone up with the two pollsters coming in, and despite the Matrice survey, it's brought it to 136 compared to 99. Look at that jump, and look at the slide for the Congress from 77 to 35. Zakir Jacob, over to you. What does that story mean?
Oh, I think it's a phenomenal story. These numbers, you said 136 is the News18 poll of polls. So that's a jump of 37 seats from what the BJP got last time around. Even at the lower end, the most conservative end is 117. We haven't added the Matrice poll, but 117 is at the lowest end. That is, again, 18 seats more than what the BJP got in 2017. If you were to take the higher end, as Anand was saying, there are two polls that are putting them above 150. That would be record-breaking. No political party